two, three.
Today's episode of the Ross Cloud Podcast is sponsored in part by GospelStationCharts.com, where you can view gospel radio station song charts and track the promotion of your song, such as view how many stations are playing your song and how often, including what day and time your song played. Check it out now. Visit GospelStationCharts.com.
Chris Ross, and this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you as we navigate through the clouds of life, empowering one another. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ross Cloud Podcast. Listen, we're here at the International Black Theater Festival 2024, and it's mob-tastic, and we have our special guest. Wait, first of all, my co-host is with the mostest, Mr. Al Shaw. What's happening, baby?
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, I know that's right, man. It's good to be alive and good to be black, baby.
Yes, indeed.
It's mob-tastic, baby. And we have our special guest with us here on today. We have Miss Abria with us on today. How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you, Chris?
Hallelujah.
Amen.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
amen.
Listen, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. And you have on purple.
Of course.
I love it, right?
Look, when in Rome, it's like you got to know
There it
it's the
is.
dress code.
There it is. So, what are your thoughts about the International Black
Okay.
Theater Festival? Yeah, let me put
Put
some
some
respect on that.
All the way on it.
The International Black Theater Festival. I want to know your thoughts about it before we actually get into what it is that you do.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me just say big shout out to Trefo. That's my beautiful hometown of Winston-Salem, the Camel City. We'll make sure that we recognize that we are in the building. Us townies are here.
Yes.
And I think that's what's really incredible for me as a local is that, as a little girl, I remember experiencing this festival just being a spectator, right? Back on 4th Street when they used to have the parade, almost like a procession of sorts. I just
Yes.
remember being young
Yeah.
and seeing that. And so then to go from that to having at one point had my own column with the Winston Journal and was doing reviews of the plays.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now to be executive director of Tricultural Arts, which are hosting the official cultural tours for the
Come on.
festival. I really feel like Oprah would say, it's really a full circle moment.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
man,
dope.
I
Yeah,
absolutely
thank you.
love that. Thank you for sharing that, too, because people need to hear that. They need to understand the culture, the value of community, of service, of those full circle moments, of seeing those of us that were children that worked in, at the time it was the national, now it's internet. That tells you how it has evolved.
Right.
It tells you that much, how much it has evolved. You want to jump in there now?
Now, I want to hear more about.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and get
Yeah.
right into it, Abria.
Okay. Yeah. So, Tricultural Arts, which I'm the first executive director of, though not the founder. We were actually incorporated back in 2007, but it was just this past December that they actually got an official executive director, and I am the
Yeah.
first. And so it's such an honor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So such an honor
Congratulations,
to
yeah.
be able to do that because we also are the ones who produce our Juneteenth festival here in Winston-Salem, which, of course, we just had, a little around like a month ago, had 10,000 people in the Innovation Quarter, a really great time.
Breaking records.
Okay,
come
you
on.
know what I'm saying? Making history. So now Tricultural Arts is really, really grateful to be the official tour provider for the International Black Theater Festival. So we've been doing things like taking folks over to the Civil Rights Museum in Greensboro. We've been taking them to some of the Black historical places here in Winston, such as the St. Philip's Church in Old Salem, and even the Shotgun House that we are restoring and will be turning into a house museum over in Happy Hill. And actually, I just came from a wine tasting over at Carolina Vineyards and Hops, which is, I want to say maybe the only Black-owned vineyard in the state of North Carolina. So I'm really excited to be from Winston-Salem and in Winston-Salem, and I just want this to all be a testament to how important this festival is to our community.
Absolutely.
Because it's truly emblematic of ourselves and that it grows and we grow together with it.
Yeah. Oh man, amazing. Go ahead. Al.
So with your organization, is this something that will continue? Is this?
Yeah, so this is not the first year that we've done the official tours for the festival. And we also do these cultural tours year round. And so whether it's your church group, your civic group, your frat, what your work group, whatever the group may be, we would be delighted to take you on a Black Heritage Tour around Winston-Salem 365.
You guys work with students and schools as well?
That is our primary and target audience, especially when we think about our Black youth, especially when we think about things like the social determinants of health and understanding that things like belonging and having a sense of belonging, having a sense of identity, self-love, as well as built environment are all factors in how our youth see and treat themselves and each other. And because we understand that to be true, we want to make sure that our children know the legacy that they're inheriting, right? That even though this neighborhood may now be low income, and I'll use Happy Hill as a metaphor for that, which is the first planned Black neighborhood here in Winston-Salem. And so even though it may be one of the lowest income neighborhoods now in Winston-Salem, it used to be full of Black doctors and businessmen and teachers and, and those sorts of things. And so we just have to remind our youth that they aren't inheriting a legacy of blight. They are inheriting a legacy of richness.
That's so important. Go ahead, Al.
And of course, we've, culturally, we've been slighted from that disconnect. It's been intentional, strategic, of course. So it's beautiful hearing about you guys providing that education, providing that history, providing that connect.
Yeah, and I think it takes the same level of intentionality that it took to disconnect us to reconnect us, right? And so if they're going to be so thoughtful in the sense of, hey, we're going to put this highway in the middle of your neighborhood, just split it in half, right? If we're going to, they're intentional about all those things, we have to be equally as intentional to say, we're going to work together to highlight these places that unfortunately the majority may not see as valuable, but we understand that they're valuable to us. And we are the ones who can also determine what has value.
Yeah, I love that. Being proactive.
Okay.
Very proactive.
So given that and kind of highlighting that it's going to take that same level of, I guess, the same level of aggression to, have you run into issues being able to restore what's been,
Yes.
Is it okay to kind of highlight some
of course. And I bring this up because I love my city.
Yeah.
But we have our challenges.
Yeah.
And so if
There's a lot of old money here.
Yes. And I think what you're really onto something in that if you go to neighborhood or to areas like Old Salem or even go to Renolda House, right? Or Grayland where Sika is, these buildings that were built by Black people but occupied by white people have been saved.
Yes, that's right.
Have appreciated in value, have become tax write-offs, right? And so if we match that with the fact that only in less than, better yet, 5% of nationally registered historic places are Black focused, less than 5% of those places are Black focused, it shows how intentional we have to be about these things. And part of it is that sort of value determination and creation that I was saying, in the sense of if we as Black people don't say it's important, why would anybody else think that it's important, especially when it pertains to us?
Yo, I
So
think- I'm sorry to interrupt, but you just said something very profound. All right, so when we think about the infrastructure of the country, right? You just said less than 5%, and we built.
About
Anyway,
95.
Go ahead. Yeah. So that's what
Yeah.
I didn't want that to kind of slide by.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're onto it, in that even from a fundraising standpoint, people will often ask. I've even had some of my board members ask me, "Why the Shotgun House?" And these are Black people who work in development, even like, "Why the Shotgun House?"
Yeah. Why
and
not?
Why? That is exactly what I say. So that is usually my rebuttal, sincerely, Chris. It's either why not Happy Hill, why not the Shotgun House, or I'll say, well, why Old Salem?
Yeah.
Are you asking Old Salem why they're saving this?
That's right. That's right.
No, you just realize that it's important, and so
Yeah.
I'm telling you that this is important.
Yeah, I love that. I got to ask you another question. I want to ask you this question. There is something that we as a people hold so dear, and that's advocacy, protesting, but protesting in the right way. I want to know, where did you get that from? Where did that seed of that stem from?
Well, admittedly, Chris, I want to push back to say what's protesting in the right way. I'm a true millennial, so I
Give it to me.
burn the buildings down. Okay, burn them down. Okay, that does not bother me. Okay,
I love it. I
If we
love it.
saw on January, whatever it
Yes,
that
yes.
it is possible. Okay,
Yes,
all right.
yes, yes.
So any form of resistance is good with
Come on.
me. I just want to put
Come
it
on.
out there.
Yeah.
Okay, I am not anti-violence. Okay,
No.
so in that regard,
No.
and I think it's on Franz Fanon, White Mass, Black Skin, Wretched of the Earth. He always says in his writings, the only way to undo colonialism is through violence, because that's how it was imposed upon us. The only way to undo violence is with violence. But what I'll certainly say is that I come from a legacy of women, of educated women in particular, who saw needs in their communities.
Yes.
So my grandmother, who passed away in February, and I bring this up because like her funeral like taught me a lot about who she was. And you know, often funerals will do that, often for the worst ways for some of us, but for her it was the best way, because I learned about, or better yet, was reminded of her, how she cared about things like literacy. She retired from the school system. How she cared about our youth having culture. She founded what is essentially the equivalent to my organization down in Scotland County. And so just growing up, we were always at cultural events, always at, you know, protests. And then I moved to New York City during Occupy Wall Street. And that certainly sparked something in me. But what I think is most important, that I really appreciate that my organization highlights, is that there's a lot of ways to resist. And so one of the ways that I've talked about it here without saying it directly is what I call architectural resistance or structural protest, which is the idea that the Shotgun House that I mentioned, and Shotgun Houses, they're all around America, especially in Black neighborhoods. Like there are a lot in New Orleans, a lot of Memphis, and it's just one of those houses where you can stand in the front door and like look straight through the back, you know what I'm saying? And the one that we're restoring will turn 110 next year. But the design in itself is actually a Yoruba, as in like what is now Nigeria, design that came through Haiti. And so we were, in the same way that we remembered our gumbo, right? And if you go to West Africa now, they'll make you that. Actually, often the word for gumbo is okra. Like okra is gumbo to them. And so one of the ways that we remember it's through architecture. So we remembered what our houses looked like back in Africa. Like we remember those things. And so we built homes that mimic that here in the States. And so I just want to remind us and each other that there's a lot of ways to resist, whether it's through the way that we cook, whether the way that we sing and dance, whether the way that we build buildings, that resistance comes in all forms.
All right. Were you about to say something, Chris?
Please go ahead. I'm sorry, my attention's over here. Go ahead.
All right. I just want to say this. If you could give a shout out to whoever did your eyebrows, and then we'll get right back on track.
Shout out to my barber. I went by him today. Perfect Cuts on Liberty Street.
He did it. He did it.
Phil, Phil's my man.
Yeah.
Phil, shout out to Phil. I need some
man.
cologne.
Yeah, he did it.
I know what it is. That is a staple in the community.
Yes.
That barbershop.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely used to get our haircuts
Yeah.
there.
That's the spot,
Yeah,
yeah.
back in the day.
I absolutely love it. I'm glad you said that.
Mhm.
I love that. You're an amazing individual.
I agree.
Man, you're such a breath
kind.
of fresh air.
There's
too.
got to be a part two.
There's got to be a part two. Yep,
Anytime,
you said
anytime,
it.
guys.
You got my card, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna bring you down there to the studio. We have a long conversation.
I would love that.
Al will be over there too for that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the meantime, if you do want to keep following and listening to whatever nonsense
Please.
I have to say,
It ain't
Fully
nonsense.
look. Now,
Right.
sometimes it is. Okay, I just like to put the disclaimer out there. Okay, being honest. Okay.
Come on.
If you see me post a story after 11 p.m. at night, look,
Okay.
Ain't no
it's on
telling.
you. It's
You
on
got
you.
to.
It's on you. But you can follow the
Sure.
organization on Instagram at Triad Culture. You can find us on Facebook by searching Triad Cultural Arts, and also our website is triadculturalarts.org.
I mean, I appreciate
Also,
you
the
so
book
much.
that you highlighted.
Oh, Fanon,
Yeah.
Franz Fanon. That's
Thank you.
Wretched of the Earth, The Wretched of the Earth.
Okay.
I love that. All right.
Classics.
Thank you for saying that. One last question before
Yeah.
you go. Can you tell us a little bit your thoughts about Kamala Harris running for president?
Are you sure?
I'm very positive.
Well, I don't like the fact that she has a white husband, and I don't know what they talk about at the dinner table, and so I don't trust that.
Oh,
All right.
I can't say anything about that.
I'll say this: when Barack and Michelle were in the White House, we know what they were talking about at the dinner table.
Well, there it
There you
is.
go.
All right, we don't need anything else. I think we heard it
To be continued. Part two.
It's gonna be a part two with the sister Bria. Thank you so much
Thanks,
for gracing
Yeah,
us with
man,
your
this was
presence.
beautiful.
It's
Thank you.
very beautiful.
Right on.
And she wearing the purple.
There
Okay.
it is.
Come on.
Mauve-tastic.
Fantastic. Being kissed by that sun. Hey, that's why we Yes, sir. To the east, my brothers and sisters. To the east.
Yes.
All right. All right. So listen, I hope something was said to you that can help you become a better you. Remember, this is the Ross Cloud Podcast, and we're here at the International Black Theater Festival, and it is fantastic. Make it a great day and keep being great. We'll be right back with more of the Ross Cloud Podcast. Peace.
Peace.
All right.
That was great.
Today's episode of the Ross Cloud Podcast is sponsored in part by GospelStationCharts.com, where you can view gospel radio station song charts and track the promotion of your song, such as view how many stations are playing your song and how often, including what day and time your song played. Check it out now. Visit GospelStationCharts.com.
Powering one another. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I have the hostess with the mostest with me, Mr. Al Shaw, my brother in the building.
What's happening?
Nothing much, my brother. You doing all right?
I'm wonderful.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. We are here at the International Black Theater Festival 2024. And this special guest was around when it was coined Montastic. And we have the one and only Miss Sheila Beverly. I'll always love my mama. She's my favorite girl. We have my mama in the building, Miss Sheila Beverly. How are you, Mom?
I'm doing great, and I'm so glad to be with you, Chris and Al.
That's right.
My two sons.
That's
There it
right.
is.
Oh my!
Oh, this is beautiful. This is such a full circle moment. I have my mom here today because I thought it was so befitting. She was around at the beginning, the conception of when it was before it was just the National Black Theater Festival, and then it's evolved into the International Black Theater Festival. And because my mom was a catalyst in pushing us into the arts and being a huge advocate for us to be a part of events that happened in the community, it's just a full circle moment. And we wanted to make this short and sweet, but have a lot of meat in it as well. So my mom is just gonna give us a little history on this as she's worked with the festival in the beginning. Mom, you can take it away however you would like to. Thank you so much for joining us too.
Thank you. I guess one of the biggest things for me would be how I became a part of the festival by knowing Larry's wife, Sylvia Hamlin. We became friends through cosmetic business. She had a cosmetic business, and I had just come back from Florida State University, and my plan was to teach and to get my master's in English. Meeting Sylvia, she said, why not in library science? Because she was the librarian here in Winston-Salem over the libraries. And I said, no, I prefer English. She said, well, why don't you come down and work with me at the festival? So I was kind of coined the office manager, and I was like following Sylvia everywhere she went, every step. I think one of the biggest things I remember is when we had to do bank deposits, and we would go do bank deposits at 1, 2, and 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Because she would be Larry, wherever their hotel room was, I can't remember right now, but there was a financial part set up in there. So Sylvia and I would be there in the very back. She would do all the counting, and I would help her out.
Wow.
And then I would drive her, to the bank. And at that time, of course, we did the banking through dropping it in the night deposit box. And we did those kind of deposits every night.
Wow.
I remember when we used to drive around Winston-Salem to the different spots where the festival plays were being held to collect the money from the doors.
Wow.
And after we did all that collection, I would drive her those places. Then we would come back to that hotel room, and she would do the counting, and I would help her with that, however she wanted me to.
Yeah.
And then I'd say, are you ready? And we would dash away, and I would drive her to the bank so that she
Wow.
could make those deposits. So I know now that, in the modern day festival, I know things are very different.
Sure.
But I'm talking about 1989.
The first year.
Yeah, the
first-
very first year.
Wow.
And the other thing about that year, these two fellas, along with their sister, were ushers because what Larry wanted to do is include youth in this National Black Theater Festival at that time.
Yeah.
And so one of the things, we had the plays up at the Coliseum where the theater was up there then.
The little theater.
The little theater.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
And so the young people were the ushers. Now, that first year in 1989, they had to really be dressed up. So these guys were very dressed up in shirts and
Yes.
And tight,
ties
Yes,
and,
and tight vest.
yes, and vests for the festival, and that they had on sports coats, and their
Yes.
sister had on a skirt and something else. I don't remember. But during that year, they all
Tight
had
vest.
on black, and they were very, very dressed up.
Yeah, very
so I'm
much
very
so.
proud to see them still very much engaged with the international
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Black Theater Festival.
Yes, yes.
And we can't go without mentioning Dr. Maya Angelou, who was the first chairperson an award-winning poet and author,
Yes.
who also taught at Wake Forest University.
Yeah, rest
so
in
we
peace.
cannot forget her. And also that first year, Oprah Winfrey was here, and so
that's
was
right.
Cicely Tyson.
That's right.
And there were so many stars
Legends.
and
Legends, very much so.
legends. Yes.
Yes.
And I cannot remember them all, but I remember that it was so packed, you could hardly get in downtown
I remember
to
those
drive
days.
your car or
Yeah,
walk.
yeah.
We had to arrive about 2 hours early so that they could get in position to do the ushering.
Yes.
And it was quite an endeavor.
Yes.
Now, at that time, there were a number of different spots that they used to hold plays,
Yes.
right? Reynolds High School
Yeah,
Auditorium.
that
Is
was one of them.
I think I ushered there.
At Reynolds High School.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
if they still.
and
host the
that
plays
I
there,
do
but-
not know, because after the first festival, I remember that Larry let all of us have time off, and he and Sylvia, they went overseas, and I can't remember what country they went to, but they were there
Yeah.
maybe a month or so.
Wow.
And so everything was kind of, shut down, only because when I say we worked, you all,
We worked.
it was serious.
Yeah.
And Larry was so dedicated,
Yes.
and so was Sylvia. And when I say it seems like it was a 24-hour work shift,
Yeah.
that's the way it seemed.
Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's beautiful. To your point, Al, I remember being at the Stevens Center too.
Yes,
yeah,
being
yeah.
at
that was one of the
Stevens
places.
too.
Yes.
I remember Reynolds too, though. I remember Reynolds. So that was a beautiful time. I have a picture. I have a picture at home that you gave me, Mom. It's on a piece of paper, and I think you were at. Where is it that they do the films at? Well, I guess that would be the Stevens Center. You
Yeah,
stand
it
in front of the
probably
Stevens
was
Center.
at the Stevens Center.
Yeah, you were standing in front of a playbill
Mhm.
on that, and as I was looking at it, I just thought about how I didn't really think about what you were doing because we were young.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about.
Yeah, we didn't
what-
really get it.
We didn't get it.
So like I'm learning within
It was
this
fun.
conversation,
I
I'm
know,
learning.
right, Al?
Yeah,
Like,
you
when I
all were
really-
real excited. I remember that.
Yes, I just remember us doing it, but I don't think it really hit us till later on.
Yeah.
Like now, when I talk to people now and I bring your name up, they're like, "Oh man, that's your mom," or they bring up Tanya's name. They
Yeah, she
remember
performed
us.
one year.
Yeah, they remember us from
As an
being
adult.
there,
Mhm.
ushering in there, but also the groundwork that you put in to lead us into us. We here now.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I'm
yeah. Go
very
ahead.
proud of that.
Yeah.
I am glad that I had an opportunity to work with Larry and Sylvia and
Mhm.
all of the team that was working with us at that time.
Yeah.
It was really refreshing. And after that, by the time Larry and Sylvia returned, I had gotten a job with the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School System as a teacher.
Oh,
And so I
wow.
said, y'all, I will not be able to come back because I am, but you guys still went back and ushered.
Yeah,
yeah, we
You
sure
all
did.
still were
Mhm.
active.
Yes,
But I
yes.
could not come back because my workload was heavy as a teacher.
Yes.
This
And-
is at Parkland.
Yes, this is at
That's
Parkland
right,
High
Al. That's
School.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then after that, I did State Farm Insurance for 10 years and then decided
Yes.
to go to Appalachian State
Yes.
and finish that master's degree.
Yes.
And so my life became very educational oriented, and I
Mhm.
really could not break away. But I thank God that you all continued to usher and be a part of the festival those years that Mom was steady on something else.
There it is. It's
And
on the
this-
right path.
There it
This
is.
has been the most wonderful thing, the festival, to come to the city of Winston-Salem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's important that we, and I'm hoping, I'm sure they will as a team, kind of look at and compare, like maybe the first few years,
Yeah.
and how it's evolved and how beautiful it's become.
Yes.
And just because it's a whole nother generation
Whole
Oh, yes.
nother
And
that
that's
generation.
what
that
I'm
will
looking at.
need to be empowered
Yes.
Yes.
to continue
Yes.
continue this.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
hoping the baton is being transferred to to these young folk, so
That's
they
right.
can continue it, and it will
Mhm.
continue to be huge for Winston-Salem.
Yes. Yes.
That is my wish too.
No. I was going to say this. I don't remember details when I was speaking with Brian McLaughlin yesterday, who's the director over the media, responsible for
good.
the media for the International Black Theater Festival. And then when I spoke with him on yesterday, I can't remember vividly, so I'm paraphrasing a little bit. So
Come on.
y'all, yeah.
Okay.
So he was talking about how it went from $1 million, to your point, Alvin, Al, to like
The
200.
All right. I don't know what happened.
Okay, hold on. This was a serious moment, but I messed up my
serious
brother's
moment.
name.
Go ahead.
Bring us
I
on.
messed
Bring
it
us
up. Okay.
on.
So he's talking about the money, and he was talking about you going from $1 million to like $200 million, man. that-
Okay, well,
that's
let me
being
share
brought to the
this.
city. So go
Okay,
ahead.
well, let me share
And
this.
again, I'm paraphrasing that number. I may be a little off, but I think I'm right on that. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to share that 10 weeks before the festival, the very beginning, in 1989, there was only $5,000 raised in 10 weeks. But the week of the festival, the first night is when the 10,000 came to the city. And it was more
than that.
than that.
Yeah.
And so that is amazing.
Yes.
What happens when the word gets out and people begin to come and support,
Yes.
how that those dollars do increase. So support.
Yes.
is very
Please support,
important.
Yes,
support,
indeed.
support.
Yeah, support is important.
Yes, very, very important. Mom, this has been just an absolutely refreshing conversation, but also just a legacy that
Yes.
has been left
Yes.
behind. And hopefully we can continue that legacy by
Yeah.
bringing our kids
Yeah.
and letting them be a part of and volunteer as well.
Oh, I
because-
got some
Exactly.
tight vests lined up.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
I
That's
definitely got
excellent.
something for Nico. That boy, he got to wear a tight one, boy. Yes, sir. So I'm looking forward to continuing this legacy, Mom. And I'm going to say this to you, and I'm sure Al shares the same sentiments as I does that
I do.
I do. My mom's an English teacher, and she's gonna correct me. Yeah.
All right.
And saying, Mom, we appreciate and thank you so much for this legacy of the International Black Theater Festival that
you're
you've left
welcome.
behind for
Yes,
us.
I'm very thankful.
Yes,
to you.
because now we get to continue and push it and enjoy this legacy as well, and really understand the importance and value of
Yes.
this being a part of our community. Anything you want to say or share, Al,
just-
before we go?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Go
Okay,
ahead, go ahead.
I was just going to share the other part that the very beginning of the festival was created to celebrate the African American theater and to unite Black theater companies
Mm.
in the United States.
Yes.
The festival's first chairperson, of course, we said was Dr. Maya Angelou. And I think it's really great to think about all of those companies coming together like that because it brought about unity
Yes.
throughout the whole United States and now internationally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the good thing about that is they came on one accord as actors, as singers, as dancers as well. And
Yes.
I think that was really good. I think the most exciting part for me was watching the people come in and all of the long lines to get into the theater. I just want to share this one thing. There was another person that came, and she was an author and a writer, and I recognized her because of being an English major. So I saw her in line, and I said to her, "Hi, I'm Sheila Beverly, and you are?" And she laughed, and we said her name together. And then I said, "You do not have to wait in line. Come on, let me take you to Dr. Maya Angelou." I said, "Is that your friend?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Come on." She said, "Are you sure?" I said, "I'm positive. I'm the office manager. Let's go."
Yeah, sometimes you got to pull it up.
Sometimes you got to pull a little rank.
Yeah.
Forget that. And she said, "Okay, I'll follow you."
I
And
love
so
it.
when we got to the front door, I turned around and said, "She's with me. We're good." And they laughed and said, "Okay, Miss Beverly." I said, "Very good."
Yes.
And I took her up to Dr. Maya Angelou,
Beautiful.
who was her friend. And it was Maury Evans was the
Oh,
person.
wow.
Yeah, the writer, Maury Evans.
I love
she
it.
was here. And I'll never forget her look on her face when I said, "You don't have to wait in line."
So I absolutely love this. It's a great segue for us to close, but also a great way to plug your book. If you would, could you please plug your book on Amazon and tell the folks how they can purchase your book?
All right. Well, I wasn't expecting that. My book is entitled Rethinking Writing, One Word at a Time, 8 Parts of Speech, Supplemental Activities and Resources Workbook. And it is designed to help students learn how to write through building what's called a grammar bubble manipulative, which teaches them that 8 parts of speech color-coded, and they learn all the parts of speech, and they learn to write from a word to a sentence to a paragraph to an essay and to a book. All of our future authors. There we go.
All right.
That's
I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Miss Beverly.
You're welcome.
Mom.
Yes. And
Thank you.
thank you, 2 sons.
Yes, you're
Yes,
very, very
indeed.
welcome. You're very, very welcome.
Thank you.
Listen, I hope something was said to you that can help you become a better you. Listen, if you didn't get a chance to tap in with the International Black Theater Festival, you still got a little bit of time, 2024, because I'm telling you, there's some fantastic things happening on this evening too as well. So make sure you get out, come out, support, enjoy yourself, have a good time. And if you don't make it back this time, then you got 2 more years to prepare yourself to come
There you
back again and be a part of this Mobtastic event. Listen, right here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Remember, again, it's Mobtastic, baby. Listen, I'm Chris Ross, and this is the Ross Cloud Podcast, and we'll be right back more here at the International Black Theater Festival, heading right here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 2024. It's Mobtastic. Peace. We'll be right back.
All right.
Great show, guys.
Today's episode of the Ross Cloud Podcast is sponsored in part by GospelStationCharts.com, where you can view gospel radio station song charts and track the promotion of your song, such as view how many stations are playing your song and how often, including what day and time your song played. Check it out now. Visit GospelStationCharts.com.
Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Ross, and this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ross Cloud Podcast as we navigate through the clouds of life, empowering one another. Special co-host with me here on today, Mr. Al Shaw. What's happening?
Yo, what's happening?
Yes, welcome back, everybody. Of course, this is the International Black Theater Festival 2024, and it is mom-tastic in its sight. Listen, we have our very, very special guest with us. He is an artist. You should know who he is. He's true to it. He's true to the craft. And just an amazing individual. I'm going to let him say his name because I cannot pronounce his name, my brother. So right on. Go ahead, my brother.
My name is Rasheem Kilo Pugh.
There it is. I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, man, before we get into it, before we started, we kind of talked a little bit about your relationship with the International Black Theater Festival. If you would, can you talk a little bit about that, and then we'll go into what you do and how you got started?
Well, years ago, I had an artist that I was working with named Denalja James, who was a poet.
Yes.
And we came to the theater festival, and we met Sylvia Hamlin, one of the founders of it. And she heard Denalja. She really liked her whole energy.
Yes.
And she wound up giving us the lobby of the Embassy Suites to set up the mic, and we really rocked the whole. So just imagine all the thousands of people showing up, and everybody coming to the lobby. Here's Denalja performing, and we saw the CDs and everything.
Wow, yeah.
And then prior to the actual festival starting, they have a gala. We performed at the gala as well for all the big investors and founders.
Gotcha.
Oh, man, it was awesome. We had a great relationship.
Yeah, that's
with
absolutely.
Hamlin, absolutely.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful, man. I thank you for sharing that little piece of history with us, man. I think it's necessary that we talk about those moments because here we are now, full circle, and we see artists still evolving and being a part of the festival. Full circle moment, as we've been talking about all along. You got something you want to say, Al? Jump in.
Oh no, I was just going to ask, what year was that first year?
I'm gonna have to say probably 2011 or 12, one of them years.
Yeah.
Because I met Denalja James in 2009.
Yeah, who's an excellent poet. I know of her work. Yep. She does go-go too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Alter Ego's band.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. She's a dope artist, man.
And me myself, I've been in the music industry for over 30-something years.
Wow.
I'm a songwriter. I'm a Grammy-winning songwriter. I co-wrote The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Man.
Yeah.
Hold on.
In the building.
Boy, you gonna make me run out here like I'm in church somewhere.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Man, that is beautiful, man.
Yeah, I've been in the game a long time. In 1993, we were a rap group called OCM that was signed to Quincy Jones. So we was on Quest Warner Brothers.
Talk it, man.
Then I wrote with Faith Evans, Heather Headley, John Legend,
Come on, man.
LL Cool J, Chico DeBarge,
Wow.
Rush Hour soundtrack,
Wow.
King's Ransom
Guys with the
soundtrack.
presence of royalty.
Royalty, baby.
Fast and Furious,
Hey,
you
that's
know?
right. I love it, man.
Yeah.
So listen, in case you didn't notice, I love what my brother said, which is a great segue. In case you didn't check out that purple glow up under, take it to a wide screen, Jamal. In case you didn't notice that purple glow, it's evident.
That's right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That royalty. You are in the
Royalty.
presence of royalty.
I think it's beautiful, man, and all that you have accomplished, that you take time out of your schedule to still, you know what I mean, come back and give.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us more about that.
And I'm gonna tell you what's so funny. What actually brought me into theater and the film world. we were working on Denalda's first video called Stilettos Rockin',
Oh,
and the videographer canceled on us.
wow.
So we had to say either we're not going to do the video or we're going to go buy a camera.
I got you.
We
Got
bought
you.
the camera. One video turned into 13 music videos, and it turned into one documentary called I Stand Tall, the making of the Stiletto Ladies, which was
Got
the
you.
Nalda's movement,
Wow.
which led into now we're on an 8th film now.
Man.
So we've been all around the theater and film and working with Morgan Flower Child Jones,
Yeah, familiar with her.
Lakeisha
Yeah.
Wright,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Latika Carter,
Wow.
and Valerie Johnson, people that I did films with.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, we
I
out
love
here.
it. Man, I love it, man.
And we got a movie premiere tomorrow.
Okay, what's the name of that movie?
It's called What Fairy Tale. And
Ah,
it's at
I know what it is.
Arts. It's at the Arts. What's the name of the school right here?
School of the
School of
Arts.
the Arts.
UNCSA.
At 6 p.m.
I love it, man.
What Fairy Tale movie premiere.
Is
In
Nikisha
that
in that
theater?
one?
Yeah, she's the writer of What Fairy
Nikisha,
Tale.
that's right.
and
Nikisha
producer,
Wright.
Yeah.
That's right. We had her on the show not
Yeah.
too long ago.
Yeah.
She talked about it. Go
And
ahead,
will,
Al.
will this be playing in their theater
Yes.
on the campus of school?
Yes.
Okay.
It actually
Oh,
played twice this week.
Did it really?
Here in the theater.
That's right. He
Within
sure
a
did.
festival. Yeah.
Man, I
They
love
played
it.
one
Man.
this morning at 12, and then I think it was a couple days ago.
Okay,
But-
yes.
But
I
the
love
actual
it.
premiere where you actually meet the cast, producers, writers, everything, it's tomorrow.
Oh,
Wow.
man, I love
Yeah.
it, man.
Yeah.
This is absolutely beautiful, man. You know, I heard you talk a little bit about the music industry, and I want to talk a little bit about the music industry, but I want to talk from the perspective of making sure that you protect your trademarks, your intellectual property, if you would. If you would, can you kind of speak to that and kind of talk about your thoughts? I want to know your thoughts on streaming too. So I asked you probably two questions in one.
Right,
Each
right.
time.
I'm gonna go with the streaming first.
Okay.
The way I look at streaming, it's important that people get this understanding because it's kind of what Tubi and them are doing as well when it comes to films. When it came to selling a song years ago, if they didn't give us an advance, we would not have bought houses and cars. If they only gave us royalties, we'd have been sitting around waiting for these small little micro payments because not even a penny when it plays on the radio. So we wouldn't have had houses and cars if it wasn't for that advance check. So a lot of times when we're giving our movies to places like Tubi and everything,
Yeah.
without an advance,
Yes.
you're not going to see a chunk of money for a very long time, you know? So my advice with that is when streaming, if you create a movie or an album, don't just give it away for streams. Sell the project, get an upfront check or something, get some kind of check that pays for all the money and time you spent already.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then get the royalties that come with it after the fact.
Okay.
So how would you title that? So like with the advice that you're giving up and coming artists, so what would that be like? What is that? What is that called? Like,
Well, more when you talk about music, it's more of getting a record deal or
Okay.
getting a distribution deal where they split the rights with you.
okay,
And then, when a film, sell the film to shop your film to a big production company. Shop it to Paramount, shop it to Lionsgate. Like, shop it. Don't just give it away to someplace like Tubi for these pennies that they're going to give back.
Yeah.
I remember putting a movie on Amazon, and when we first reached, I think it was 4,000 to 5,000 views or something like that.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, you earned $11. We was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's
How many
true.
thousands did we spend to shoot this money?
It's
We
true.
can't go this route. So
It's
we
true.
had to take the movie. We took the movie down
It's true.
and said, no,
True.
we're gonna have to just figure out a way to sell it.
Yeah.
Or
when you
put
sell
out
it, can you retain? And I guess that's handled in negotiations.
It depends
Can
on
you
who you sell
retain
it to.
any ownership?
because Netflix will buy you outright. But
Okay.
you still have an advance check that's so big, they'll pay you for everything that you spent and what they project you're
Okay.
gonna make.
All right.
So you just gotta kind of know them numbers, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But you got some places they say, all right, we'll give you 20,000 up front, and then you get the royalty of this. We'll split the back end of the royalties.
Okay.
So it's a lot of different ways to get paid versus just giving it away.
Yes.
You know what I
yes.
mean?
Okay. I like that. So I guess, you hear so much talk about, don't take the deal, don't take advancements, but it sounds like it's perspective in that, though,
Absolutely.
based off of what you were
You
saying.
negotiate based on your living conditions.
Understand. So it's all about the negotiating process and who you have in your corner management wise, who's the mouthpiece for you, pretty much.
Right, absolutely.
That's talking the business for you on whether or not how successful you're going to be
Right.
as it pertains to doing a record deal versus independent,
Absolutely. And what your goal is.
and what your goal
You know, 'cause
is.
some people just want to get famous, and then some people want fortune. You know what I mean? So it's got a difference. You know, I mean, in my life, being in the industry so long and have acquired different things with, you know, bills and kids and family. And all that,
yeah.
we need the money.
Right now.
I like what you said.
You know what I mean?
If we could coin that, negotiate on your living conditions.
Yeah, based
That's
on your
good.
living conditions.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Because if you don't need the money, you ain't got to
Right.
take a penny
Right.
deal.
Yeah,
Hey, you can wait that out.
Yeah, you can
wait
play
it
the
out.
long game.
Play the long game.
Yeah.
I love that.
But when you need to keep the lights on,
Yes.
You need
Huh?
them. Hey, you need that right now.
yeah, exactly. right. And
Not
that's
now, right now.
yeah,
Right now, brother.
And that's
Yes,
legit.
sir.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the book, Willie Lynch letter, he said everything long term because ends are short term thinkers. So we got to think about that.
Just
Who
think
owns
about
to
it.
me?
Yes.
It ain't us.
Yes.
Somebody's thinking long term. Somebody's thinking short.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And
we
you can
gotta-
always tell.
Absolutely.
I love that, man.
Absolutely.
I thank you, man, for dropping those jewels, man. You
Yeah.
dropped some. Man.
Yeah, man. That's good. It's much needed.
It's much
Because we were
needed.
just talking about before you, the person we interviewed before,
Yes.
we were talking about she was the office secretary, office manager for the first year that the National Black Festival took place
Right.
here in Winston-Salem. And we were talking about the comparison of when it started
Right.
and then how it is now.
Yes.
And, passing the baton on to the next generation.
Yes.
So those things are very important
Very.
in order for the continuation.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Can you imagine what they went through to get a city behind this movement?
Yo, she was just saying like 10 weeks before, the only money they had raised was $5,000.
Yes.
But then the week of, over 10,000 people showed up.
Yes.
But
Yes.
they had to put on plays,
Yes.
be able to get the actors and
Right.
directors commitment from a $5,000 budget.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely.
Which
Absolutely.
now, to say that out loud is bananas.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it is bananas,
Yeah.
right? You're absolutely right.
I actually years ago, before Miss Hamlin actually passed away, I came to her with this proposal to shoot the movie. I said, let's shoot the movie Marv-tastic.
Yes.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna
Wow.
talk to her son, and we're gonna try to continue this conversation because it could be done.
Please do that.
It could be done
Man,
with
please
all
do
these
that.
actors involved and all these great people.
Man, please do
A
that.
Winston-Salem story, right?
Yes. Yes.
We need to do it.
Yes.
We need to do it.
I've been hearing everybody talk about how this truly is holy ground.
Right.
Like this is
Right.
like the holy grail of where everybody will come
Right.
of acting and arts.
We had
and
Oprah
film.
here.
Hey,
Oprah
fam.
here in '89.
Hot Oprah, right?
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
If you did it, what could it be a series?
It could be whatever.
Instead- you-
it could
I mean,
be
I'm
whatever
just
they want it to be.
thinking,
It really
because
can.
how many chapters?
Right.
Since
Right.
89.
Right.
Hell,
And what do
so
people
many.
want? They
Right.
want a series. We want to sit and watch that baby.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
telling
You know what I mean? Hour
That's right.
after hour. I mean, just a
Yes.
thought.
That's
Yes.
right.
I don't,
That'd be
that would
amazing.
be beautiful.
I'm
That'd be
gonna tell you
amazing.
something, Al. That's so true because when we think about the long history of these legendary, iconic figures in
Yes.
acting, Louis Gossett Jr.
Right.
I mean, Cicely Tyson,
Yes.
Maya Angelou.
Yes.
Who was the lady? Marva. What was that?
I'm not good with names,
All
my
right, me
brother.
neither, my brother. No, we're gonna leave it right there. But we had the opportunity of meeting Huggy Bear from Star
Yes,
City.
yo,
nice.
Ted Lance.
Yes.
Nice.
In addition to that, though, the parallels
Yes.
of like, so what's happening with the National Black Theater?
Right.
We're
Yes.
now the international.
Yes.
The parallel of what we as a people have been dealing with to be able to display that.
Come on,
You know what I
man.
mean?
Awesome. Yes.
That'd be beautiful.
That would be. That
Yo,
would be.
okay.
We need-
I am-
we need to go get a bucket.
Yo, that would be
That
so
would be crazy.
That would be.
Right, and you
Yeah.
heard it first here on the Ross Cloud Podcast.
That
Be
is.
clear. All right.
That is.
and that brother there, of course, there would be a wealth of knowledge
Absolutely.
Yes.
about
Can't wait
that.
to have them on here shortly
Absolutely.
too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So listen, we've got to do something else with you again. You've got to
Okay.
come out to the studio, and we just sit down and chop it up I know my brother would absolutely love that.
Yeah,
No, we can do that.
Because listen, you got
do
me
that.
going, right?
We can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I
I
want
got
this
me
to
going
happen.
too, but yeah, yeah.
I want that to happen for you. I
do.
want it to
I
happen
do for
I
you.
want it to happen for our
For
community.
community. Period.
Right.
Man,
Right.
we need it.
Right.
Our
Bro,
children need it.
Marv-tastic.
Marv-tastic.
Ah, man, you
I'm
got me
telling you,
hyped.
I had the flyer and everything. I had the flyer with Sylvia and Leon Hamlin picture on it and everything, man.
You still got it?
Yeah, I still got it. It's at home. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, there's so much history, man.
Heavy.
I'm telling
Hey,
you.
bro, let me tell you, the first year, our mom was
Yeah.
the office manager,
Manager, yeah.
and we were ushering
Yes.
the plays.
Yeah.
So like we had to come. It's a single parent home,
Right.
Yes.
So we had to come with her. I remember being here 2:00 in the morning. We
God
was
Almighty.
tired. School
Sleeping.
starting in a few weeks.
Yes,
Wearing that tight
Tight
ass
vest.
vest.
That was tight as hell, man. It was.
But ushering and being a part of having no clue
No
Right.
clue.
of what we
What was
were a
building.
part of.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what,
amazing.
Al? And I think we had them come on.
Yes, man. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Man, and them
Classic.
tight dress pants,
Hey,
man.
look, but I
Yeah.
bet, look, where are those comfort buns at now?
I know where they need to be.
Listen, I became a collector recently,
Did you really?
and those types of things are worth money.
Really?
Really?
Things that created legacies.
Yes.
Yes,
I got
yes.
a watch that Sylvia Hamlin gave me. It was a cheap little watch. She said, "You want this?" I said, "I want it." Now, what is it worth? Now, what is it worth?
Bro, I hope to see it in the movie.
Yes, sir.
I mean, in the series.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We gotta hold on to this stuff, man.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, y'all gotta watch this thing on Netflix called King of Collectibles.
Yes,
If I don't put it
yes.
on
All
my
it
phone, I
is-
won't remember.
And look, all it is
Send it
people.
to me, Al.
All
Gotcha.
it is for people saving stuff from the beginning. But
Wow.
when things happen, they kept it, and
I
now
love
they
it.
sell it based upon the era it came from.
Wow.
What is Michael Jackson's hat worth? Where's that glove? It's
And you know what?
millions.
You know what, man? That's so true. It's so absolutely true,
I'm
man.
telling you.
I'm gonna tell you, man. This has just been a wonderful conversation, especially when we're talking about the legacy and the history of now what we call now the International Black Theater Festival. The fact to go from national, as you stated before, Al, to now the international, we're
Right.
worldwide.
Yeah,
Right,
man.
absolutely.
It's worldwide.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna say it. We run the culture. We run the world.
Absolutely.
We do. And
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stand on them. Standing on business.
I mean,
That's
that's
it.
facts.
That's it.
Like you got,
That's it.
we have receipts.
We have them.
Literally, we extend to every
To every
footprint on the planet.
every
That's
footprint
a
on the
fact.
planet. That's a fact.
That's a
So this right here is just absolutely amazing. Man, I'm so glad I got a chance to meet you personally.
Very
Oh, man,
encouraging.
yeah,
Very
awesome.
encouraging, man,
Absolutely.
because
Very
I
encouraging,
always
brother.
look at your work. I will follow you on TikTok. So I always look at what you're doing, but I also look at the messages that you're sending to
Right.
when you're in front of people and you're talking about the arts
Right.
and your passion and your love for the arts, not just about a dollar.
Right.
That's gonna be there.
Right.
What you're talking about, really the full circle of the passion, the love for the
That's right.
arts. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? And how good and how big it is. And I'm really looking forward to my little niecey one day
Yeah,
being
yeah.
on the stage. That's my brother's daughter.
Okay.
She's amazing, and I'm
But
I'm hoping one day to see her do something big too, though.
Yeah.
At the festival, because every time I'm talking, might be rambling a little bit, but every time I see a pretty black woman or black child, I always think about my niece. And I'm looking at all this beautiful art in here.
Yeah, man.
Right.
We just saw a lady in there that had this beautiful red afro.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
niece got like this big afro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so beautiful and so cute. So I think we take light of that.
Right.
Sometimes the beauty and the true essence of us as
Yeah.
black
That's
and
right.
how beautiful it really is.
And of course, you know that's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
that's been
That's
intentional to distract us
Come
from,
on, Al.
from doing it.
Yes.
But
go ahead, man.
I think this series, man, could be restorative.
Oh,
Because like
absolutely.
when we
Yes.
like '89, when we had those vests, you could barely get through. Like it might take 15 minutes to walk from this side
Yes.
to that screen over there,
Yes.
and then the streets. Like you had to park
Yes.
like all the way down Cherry Street.
Yes.
And,
All the
and
way
not,
down.
and not that the festival, you know, it's still not as heavy. Of course, you can do a lot of it
Yes.
is virtual.
Absolutely.
But I think that, and I hope that you pursue that.
I
think
really
it'd
do.
be
Mhm.
not only restorative for the culture, but
Right.
for the festival itself.
Absolutely.
I love it. Thank you
Yeah,
for a
absolutely.
great way to close that out. Listen, man,
Absolutely.
and this is what we're gonna do. If you would kind of tell the
Tamora
folks.
Ellis. You know who that is? Tamora Ellis?
Tamora Ellis.
Yeah, he's a filmmaker himself, right?
I got you. Yes. So if you would tell the folks how they can follow you and some of the things you got going on, brother.
Well, I'm
And
simple.
how they can follow you. That's
I'm
it,
simple
baby.
to follow. It's
Okay.
my name, Rasheem Kilo Pugh,
I
on
love
all
it.
platforms.
Right on.
Rasheem, Rasheem, Kilo, Kilo, Pugh on
Love it.
all platforms.
Right on.
And I'm about history. I'm about the culture. I'm about funny. I'm about living this life, and I'm about sharing all of the wealth of the knowledge that I've gained over the years.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
52 years old.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
53.
And
All of us
I've
got the
been in
same
the
age.
game. Been in the game 30-something years.
No
man.
doubt. I love it,
I
man.
was signed since I was 21.
Yeah, I love
So,
it.
you know what I mean?
love it.
It's needed, man.
It's needed, man.
Yeah.
Oh man,
So-
I love it. And thank you again for gracing us with your presence here on the Ross Cloud Podcast.
Absolutely.
As we continue to enjoy the International Black Theater Festival 2024, because it is mob-tastic. To the
Absolutely.
east, my brother, to the east, my brother.
With the key.
Well, you almost got to be.
Yeah.
Hey, right. You almost got to be careful, Sam.
I just had the visual. The big trucks in the background. Big Cadillacs. I'm telling you.
I absolutely love it.
Thank you for having me, man.
Come on, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's all
Absolutely.
love, man.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Absolutely.
Yes,
man.
sir.
I
Yes,
look forward
sir.
to getting together and chopping it up. Once
No
again,
doubt.
talk about, we're going to talk about antiques and collectible cars
Come
and all
on,
the beautiful
yeah.
things
Yeah.
of the South.
Make it happen, baby. So
That'll
listen,
work.
stay locked in, stay tapped in with us here at the Ross Cloud Podcast. We'll be right back with more from the International Black Theater Festival 2024. It's mob-tastic. Peace.
Hold the ground, baby.
Peace.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Today's episode of the Ross Cloud Podcast is sponsored in part by GospelStationCharts.com, where you can view gospel radio station song charts and track the promotion of your song, such as view how many stations are playing your song and how often, including what day and time your song played. Check it out now. Visit GospelStationCharts.com.
Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Ross, and this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you as we navigate through the clouds of life, empowering one another. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I have with me my hostess with the mostest, Mr. Al Shaw. What's happening, Al?
Hey, what's happening?
I know that's right. And we are here at the International Black Theater Festival 2024, and it is fantastic.
Yes,
Indeed. And we have our special guest with us.
Bianca Laverne Jones. That's me. I go by
Thank
all
you.
three names.
Right on.
Thank you
And
so
people
much.
say, oh wow, that's my name.
That's it.
I
That's my
love it.
name.
I absolutely love it. She went on and snatched it from me, and I absolutely appreciate that. And I really do appreciate that, sister. Very, very thank you so much. I've been
You
having
almost had it, bro.
I almost did.
Yeah,
didn't I?
you almost had it.
I have so much that I'm retaining within a day. But we don't make no excuses here at the Ross Cloud Podcast. We do not do it. So listen, we're going to go ahead and open up. Thank you so much for joining us on the
Yeah,
Ross
it's a
Cloud Podcast.
Beautiful energy.
Yes,
Yeah.
great energy. And before we go ahead and get right into it, I really want to know from you, what is your relationship with the international, now what we know as the International Black Theater Festival 2024?
So I am the first National Black Theater Festival baby. My
wow.
father is Herman Laverne Jones.
Yes.
He created the infrastructure with Larry Leon Hamlin back in '89. And they started this festival, and he can tell you his story better than I can, of course.
Sure.
But once they started building the festival to begin this same week, every other year, but it was happening in the odd years. So now we're in the even years because of the pandemic.
Okay.
But I was here, and I would always be watching theater with my father. So whenever my mom needed my dad to take me, he would have me in a rehearsal. So my father's the actor, producer, and director, Herman Laverne Jones.
Yes.
And I would sit in rehearsal rooms with him, oh my gosh, all the time. I was always stuck in a
Yes.
rehearsal room. And people said, wow, she's really patient. She's quiet. She's sitting there. She's definitely going to be something in the theater.
Yes.
And so then at a certain point, I started getting up and asking questions. Daddy, well, why doesn't she move to the other side of the couch? Or why don't they speak a little bit louder? Or, I started asking questions about the text,
Yes.
right? And so I did plays all the way up to, my daddy put my first play when I was 11. And so we're from Raleigh. So I was born in Raleigh, raised in Cary. My father's from Garner, my mother's from Durham. Everybody live in Durham.
Come on now,
And
everybody.
so, everybody. And so I was always coming here. And at a certain point, when I was about 15 years old, I said, Mom, Dad, what will I do with my life? What college am I going to go to? How am I going to work this out? My dad said, well, you've always been an actor. You've always been acting, and you've always been dancing. You love that. And I said, okay. And he said, well, why don't you audition for the North Carolina School of the Arts? And I was like,
Yes.
Come
he
on
was
now.
like, well, and I took, some sort of aptitude test, and it was like, okay, I could be a physical therapist, right?
Yeah.
And so it was like, all right, you're in school. I was in the medical programs, and it was like, if you get into the North Carolina School of the Arts, you will go and become an actor, director. You're an actor.
Yes.
But if you don't get in, then you'll be a physical therapist.
Mm.
And so when I graduated across the street from the Stevens Center from the North Carolina School of the Arts,
Okay. Yes.
now it's UNCSA. I went when it was NCSA.
Right.
And all those pickles out there because the mascot is a pickle sitting on the couch.
Yes, it is.
So all the pickles will know what I'm talking about, the real pickles.
Yes, yes.
Before it was UNCSA. We all graduated on the Stevens Center stage. It's being reconstructed now, but
Yes.
I graduated from there and I stayed here at the festival and began to do more shows. And I left and went to SUNY Purchase Acting Conservatory in New York immediately when I graduated from school, about a week afterwards. And then I went to Yale School of Drama for acting to get my MFA. And then I left there early and worked for about 15 years and went back to school in London at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts and got my master's in directing.
Yes,
and so
I love it.
at the festival this year, just to kind of fast forward to tell you why I'm here now today, why I'm dog tired right now in this moment, is because I directed 2 shows, a film, and taught an acting class this year.
Wow.
So my plays were the Claudette Colvin story that was at Milton Rhodes, and I also directed I Am a Shepherdess at Wake Forest. And so we have a show at 7 p.m. today and a show at 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
And so Claudette Colvin closed yesterday, and I had an acting class that I taught yesterday morning, my acting alchemy course that was really wonderful. My class was packed out. And we had a really great time, and it's really about connecting your African spirit, whatever you are in the African diaspora, connecting your spirit to the work. But because I've been through these PWIs, predominantly white institutions, I have learned I'm a classically trained actress over and over and over again. And so I've taken all of that training and decided to turn it over and say, but I also grew up in this, right? So to my bones, I am African theater, I'm African American theater, I'm the Black diasporic theater that has come out of here. Like Larry Leon Hamlin is my uncle, and Sylvia acting as auntie. And all of the people from everybody here, you know, and like being like brother cousins with Lamont Rucker, you know, who I was hanging out with last night, is like, and Chester Gregory, and like sister girlfriends. I have a sister girlfriend that I actually hired to be in my show, I Am a Shepherdess, Althea Vipers.
Love it.
So I've got all these sisters and brothers who I am, and cousins, I feel like, who I am so close with, that those relationships started here at the National Black Theater Festival, that I can only infuse that Africanism, right, and who we are, because I've come into all of these programs, SUNY Purchase, Yale School of Drama, the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts, and especially
I got you.
North Carolina School of the Arts,
The
School of the Arts, already knowing who I am from that space. And so a lot of people don't start from there, because the aptitude and the energy of the way we are now, there's a lot more Black shows. You know, thank God for Tyler Perry. Thank God for Shonda Rhimes, you know. So we have the gamut of like somebody who has Tyler Perry, who has their own following, really strong,
very strong
with the church and the Black community.
Strong.
And then we have Shonda Rhimes, who is capturing, you know, Black and white, the whole world. And I'm not saying Tyler Perry does not. I'm saying Shonda is doing Grey's Anatomy and has her own demographic as well.
Absolutely.
Right? So between those, I am both of those, right? And infusing the August Wilson, the cross of like August Wilson in between all of that. And so I can only infuse that into my work as I am informing the actors who come to my class. And majority, I get the African diaspora in my class, and of all ages. And when I lived in Miami during the pandemic, and I had a lot of younger students who were Latin and white coming to my classes too. And I'm teaching the basic stuff you need to know, but I'm also decentering whiteness, right? And putting us at the center of the work, because not that those works that I learned from Chekhov, Clifford Odets, not that those things are not important, they are, right? Because I cut my teeth on Arthur Miller and all that stuff, but also the Dominique Morissos and the August Wilsons and the Katoria Halls and Brandon Jacob Jenkins, those works are also equally important. And I'd be damned if we move into these works not knowing who we are. Right.
What is the most difficult part? It's something that you said earlier that the class that you teach with the
Acting alchemy.
Okay, right. So what is the most difficult part about making that connection, which has been lost by so many of the students that come to your classes? What is the most difficult part about making kind of?
So I'm gonna flip your question.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, what's the most positive part? What's the easiest part about it, right? What's your grandmama name?
Gwendolyn Wade.
What's your grandmama name?
Gwendolyn Wade.
All right. My grandmother, I'm gonna name one of them, Georgia Jones.
Okay.
Name your other grandmother.
Um.
Is it a
No. It's not. I'm just trying to think. On my dad's side, we weren't really that close. But
is she still here? with us?
no, she's gone.
Do you know her name?
I do. I just can't think of it right now.
Okay.
That's weird.
Mine is Elma Ross.
Elma Ross?
Elma Ross.
Okay. So do you have another ancestor that is passed on that you can think of? An elder?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, we'll stick with Gwendolyn since y'all have that woman in common. And if we're going with G's, I'm gonna go with Georgia.
Okay.
My grandma. We know who these people are. There are people, so I don't have to know you to know that you come from somebody who nurtured you, who made you into this person who decided to become a host to do interviews. I wonder where that is in your family background, right?
Gotcha.
I wonder where that is, where y'all are connected in that sense, right?
I got you, yeah.
How do you use what that voice is that y'all are speaking with, these bodies that y'all have been given from Gwen, right? From Mother Gwendolyn.
Yes.
How do we use that in the work? Don't you know what her food tastes like?
Yes.
That's right.
Don't
Very
you remember
well.
the way she smelled, where her house smelled?
Yes.
All that sense memory, all of that is what you bring to Shakespeare.
Yo.
Love it.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Teach us. Yes.
That there
Teach us.
is no separation between you, Shakespeare, and Mama Gwen. Ain't no different. So when you're going in to play any of those roles, you got to bring all of who you are.
Yes.
Oh, the air is fresh this morning, sir.
Yes.
Whatever the line is in the Shakespeare
Yes.
dialogue, right?
Yes.
Whatever that line is, when you smell it, you could be using the sense memory of your grandmother's house. And when you look across at that other actor and you tell them what you smell or what you see from the truth of what you know to be true for you, you say it to them.
Bleach and pine. So.
Baby,
Definitely.
she kept a clean home.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Very.
Okay, and so
That
when
was
I
her
say the air
profession.
That
is
was her
fresh,
profession.
She cleaned white folks.
She cleaned
home.
white folks on.
okay,
Here
so
in Winston.
Yeah, here in
we're
Winston.
talking about any struggles, or we're talking about what that brought back to your home,
Yeah.
how that defined who she was, and how it helped define who you are.
Yes.
So if I come to y'all home, is it nasty?
No.
Not at all.
We clean walls.
Clorox and
Clorox and
Y'all was
pine.
washing
Baseboards.
walls?
Yes.
I wash walls too. I know what you're talking
Yes.
about. That's country down.
Yes.
Baseboards too.
Baseboard, and if you ain't get the baseboards, what in the world?
Right.
That's
man.
And we're
So
not
right.
allowed to sleep late.
No, we're not allowed to sleep late
I was
at
never
all.
allowed. When you get Herman Jones over here and start talking to him, he did not let anybody sleep past
Oh,
6
we
a.m.
couldn't. We couldn't. We had to
Had to get up.
You had to
clean
get up and get that
then-
clean and
yeah,
going.
then go outside.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You
You
couldn't
won't
come
gonna sit up
inside.
in the house.
Nah.
And
Nah.
have it dirty.
We ate lunch on the porch
Yeah.
and ate. All right, now y'all go ahead and play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't slam my screen door.
No, you
You know
better
what I'm
not.
saying?
So that's what you're pulling from in the alchemy.
That's
Gotcha. It's
beautiful.
beautiful.
That's what
So
you're pulling
beautiful.
from. It's not difficult at all. I asked y'all how her house smelled. Immediately, y'all like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Bleach, pine saw. You gonna get out there. You ain't finna stay up here. You about
No,
to get up
sir.
early. Okay,
Yes.
all of that is related to the work. You're pulling upon yourself and your experiences and those smells, the things that you've seen, the things that you've heard, her voice, all of that to do the work.
Yeah.
Okay? There's no difference.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of that informs the work. So that's what I'm, when we get in the room, now I put physicality to that. Physicality is going to open your ribs and get your lungs going and invigorate your body. But I'm also prepping you with questions that reminds you of who you are.
Okay.
So that before we get into the work, and we start looking at operative words and underlining preps and looking and examining punctuation, that you're able to examine that punctuation and do all that because of
Yes.
what you know about your grandma, Mama Gwen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're pulling from that.
Yes. Yes.
If that makes any sense.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So that goes back to the actor that we were talking with earlier. Well, I asked the question about senses, smell.
Who are you speaking
Taste.
with?
Man, it's talked to so
Somebody.
many people.
Okay, right.
but-
Okay, so several of them.
Yeah, I talked to so many people we both have doing this festival, and I asked him the correlation of that between acting, and he said it's you can't do it without it.
Cannot.
Geneva.
Geneva?
That's it.
Geneva.
Geneva.
I don't know why
Okay,
it took me so long.
Thank
to
you.
think
I was
of.
sitting up here going in my
Yeah,
head while she was
it's
talking
Geneva.
about
Okay,
it.
I don't know Geneva, but
Okay.
okay. So excellent. I was hoping I knew the person.
Okay.
But yeah, there's no, you cannot do one without the other.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to see is to go to the theater and see something boring.
Yes.
Something that you could give a doggone about.
Right on.
You could give a damn about it because you like, I don't know what this person is doing. They
Yeah.
make no choices. I don't care. They don't care. I don't care. They want to be general and not call upon Mama Gwen and that bleach and
Wow.
and that fresh pie.
Wow.
Then I don't care to see this because that's not interesting. What's interesting is the way both of y'all took a deep breath. When you said bleach and pine and the way you breathe,
Yeah.
then y'all saying, oh, her food, ooh, and both of y'all went,
Yeah, and you know what? I like cookies today because she always baked us
always.
cookies.
there it is.
She always did.
You
I
probably a cookie
immediately-
connoisseur because
Yeah.
of her cookies.
Immediately went back to North Hills.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Her White House,
Yep.
the gravel backyard,
Yeah. The small kitchen.
small kitchen, the roots, no grass, just
Yeah,
roots in the
that's
ground. Us playing football on them hard roots.
Yes.
And
The
so,
clothesline.
The clothesline,
In the
yes.
backyard.
But how fresh it smelled when
Right
the
on.
wind hit it.
Yes.
and so that
Yeah.
specificity will help you if you get the chance to do fences. If your cast is Gabriel and fences, or
yes.
cast is Lions
Yes.
and August Wilson's fences,
Yes.
here we go.
You got all that.
You already know what it is.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the backyard.
Yes. Yes.
That's the fence.
Wow.
Y'all finna build that fence.
All right, so let me ask you a question. So the crossroads at 15, right?
Yeah.
That crossroad. So it with physical therapy,
Yeah.
and you pursued your passion.
Yes.
Have you ever gone back to that and thought about the possibility of if you had taken that?
Not really.
Okay.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay.
If I'm ever thinking about it in any sort of way, I mean, you know, artists, we live a modest life. We be balling on a budget. All of us artists, we know that
Right.
ball on a budget is the throw down, go down. But somehow we stay fly, you know,
No doubt.
and
no doubt.
and stay fed and stay housed. There's no such thing as a starving artist. You know, you're always working on your art and doing something creative to make money. So if I were to think about physical therapy right now, because you asked me, and I ain't never thought about it since, I would say, oh, maybe I would be making a certain amount of money that maybe more than what I make on my downtime now. But
I got you.
the way I'm getting into finances, but the way that our money works is like feast and famine, you know, it's both feast and famine, but you got to just be frugal and prepare and you're
That's
good,
right. That's
you know?
right.
I wanted to highlight the maturity at 15
At 15.
that you had
Yeah, no
to
doubt.
follow like your heart.
Yes.
I haven't always done that in my career.
No, me either.
And
Me
while
either.
I still have passions that I'm working on, you know, I work professionally in the school system and in education and some other things, but that's not my heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I admire at 15,
At 15.
and I'm 49.
Yeah.
But at 15, the maturity
Yeah.
and the fortitude to pursue it and to be doing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope.
Kudos.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Kudos
much.
to
I
you
have
for
to,
that. Mhm.
Like John David, you know, Denzel Washington's son, John David.
Mhm.
whenever people start saying, "Oh, you got everything from your daddy," blah blah blah, he said, "Oh, don't forget my mama." You know,
Oh,
Yeah.
His
yes.
mother's
I
fall
saw
out of
that.
Washington,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah.
She's
And so
a
been
beast.
here.
Yeah.
She's come to the festival.
Hey,
1,000
she's the
times.
truth too. Now.
Yeah, Denzel was here in the first festival.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
yes.
Yeah. And so I don't know if he was in it, but he was here.
He was here.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
definitely
I got you.
participated.
Mhm.
I have to give kudos to my mother,
Mm,
Carolyn Taretha.
I love it.
And so Mama Carolyn, who was here at the festival, she always gave me responsibilities. I feel like my parents raised me with a lot of rope to play with and to also hang myself with if I didn't do right by it, you know?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
it just made me responsible, like, oh, I have the responsibility of myself.
Yeah.
And how do I want to treat myself? How do I want to be treated? How do I want to do myself?
Yes.
And so I just did myself the way I wanted to be treated.
Yeah. Mm.
And so then I guess I just used that responsibility and like being in rooms, or as soon as I got a driver's license, you know, I got my permit right when you turn 14, you know, right when I turned 16, I had a driver's license and was, my mother owned a daycare center, 200 child daycare center in Raleigh, North Carolina called Sunshine Daycare Center. And all my sunshine heads out there, hey.
Love it, love it.
Sunshine Daycare Center.
Yes.
At Sunshine, I was picking kids up. As soon as I got a driver's license, I was like driving the van.
That's
to go
right. That's
pick the
right.
kids up at all the
That's
schools
right.
and bringing them back, going to my cheerleading practice.
Yeah.
You know, I was Johnny on the money with it. And I had to come. I was a camp counselor.
Yeah.
My mom and dad just had me on, and I was part of programs and things, and I had to be responsible.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think also working in the theater also gives you a responsibility because people are dependent upon you to learn your lines,
Yeah. That's
to
true.
stand where you're supposed to stand,
Yes.
to shut up and be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so it gives you a time frame and a responsibility to let you know that other people are dependent on you and want you to be fortified for them.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
Me and Al was talking the other day, and me and him was talking about how mom, you know, growing up in a single parent home, mom made us go to work. Like I remember,
Yeah.
and we didn't
There
have
was no
a car.
choice.
There was no choice. It was no ifs, ands, buts about it. And I just remember walking to work because we walked through the backyard. But I remember walking on the railroad track,
Yeah, man.
walking down the dirt hill
Food
to
Line.
Food Line.
Yeah.
And my mom would make my brother and sister, until they could go to work, she would make them walk with me to work.
Yeah.
And then she would come pick me up at night because, of course, you know, she wasn't going to allow me.
Responsibility.
But
Yeah.
the responsibility in that to see how we all worked.
Yeah.
I had to help my mom pay for my car,
Yeah.
the car insurance, you know.
Yeah,
and
you
it-
needed to be responsible.
need to
and know
be
what that was about.
responsible and know what that
A
felt like.
lifelong thing, because whenever
Yes.
that insurance, that car insurance hit, you'd be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord help me,
And
Jesus.
mom
Especially
be like,
as a young
thank
driver.
you.
Mhm.
Right.
I ain't got no money.
Right.
So like, what
Well,
you
you got a
think?
car
Yeah,
and you driving.
that's right.
Then go to work and make some money.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
And
that's
but that taught
It
you
did teach us.
how you was gonna become a man.
Facts.
You got to pay those
You
bills.
got to
You
pay
You
them
can't
bills.
rely on her.
Come on.
And so she did you right.
She
Oh,
did
yeah.
us
Without a
fabulous.
doubt.
She did
She's
you
a
right.
wonderful,
She's a
wonderful.
wonderful mother.
Yeah, mine.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Mine
Yes.
too. Got it all the way
Beautiful.
together.
Come
Yeah,
on.
man.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
thankful.
Mhm.
Very grateful
But
for
that's
that.
how I became so responsible.
Okay.
And you know, it made me a leader
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
So whenever I'm a part of any other thing that was organized,
Mm.
I always was in the front as a thought leader.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm,
because it makes you
mhm.
put your thinking brain on. If I got to learn my lines, be over here, help my dad, assist my dad, be his assistant.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
make sure I send out this email, make sure I,
Mm.
you know, if I'm picking kids up from the daycare and then going to my dad's theater
Mhm.
and making sure I'm helping take care of sending out emails or whatever
Yes,
it is,
yes.
then
Mhm.
that's
I
what
love
that's
it.
what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah,
you
I
know,
love that.
ushering his shows,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all
That's
talked
right.
about starting out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
how you
important.
started here. Yeah.
That's
So
important.
I have a beautiful 10-year-old daughter.
Mhm.
She'll be 11 on the 22nd. But she wants to pursue singing and acting.
Mhm.
Are there opportunities to learn under you
Yes.
available
Absolutely.
for?
If you email assistant.biancalavernejones.com.
I won't remember.
Okay. No, at gmail.com. Assistant.biancalavernejones@gmail.com. You'll reach Camille. and we'll get together and set up some private sessions.
Okay, I love that.
Thank you.
Yes.
But it's more important that she focuses on her singing and dancing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, get her in some African dance classes, some ballet classes, singing. You know,
She's at a black.
piano.
We have her in a black-owned dance studio here.
Okay.
She goes to the little competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she loves that.
Yeah, it's
And then-
important.
Yeah, and we've invested in. She has DJ equipment.
Yes.
She has
Oh,
a keyboard.
Yes, she does.
Whatever. We definitely want to empower her to do whatever. You know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
so-
That's right.
But I am.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I could definitely put it in there for you. But I am always teaching classes. Yesterday I taught my acting alchemy class. This morning I taught on Zoom for Brooklyn's Black Arts Institute.
I love it.
And I think it's important for children to get, or young adults to get training from people that look like them too.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love that.
Absolutely.
To have
Yes.
her there, she
Yes.
is definitely going to thrive.
Yes. Yes. Thank you
She's
for
definitely
plugging
going
that
to-
too.
Oh yeah.
Great plug
absolutely.
too. Thank you for plugging that.
I'm putting it in right now.
Yes.
Add-
Yes. Thank you so much, Bianca, for that.
Absolutely at gmail.com. I did it. COM. Okay, it might not all be together, but that's it.
So just email that.
Just email
Okay.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And the sessions are not much, but they will not monetarily, but they
Yes.
will set her in the right direction.
As long
Yes.
as we can get on something consistent. 'Cause
Exactly.
she just completed a camp at she did a week-long camp at School of the Arts,
Yeah.
and she hadn't really talked to me and her mom about how it was, but she wanted to go to school there.
Mm-hmm.
But after the camp, she said she loved it.
Mm.
But she's transitioning into a little teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now she doesn't want to go to the School of the Arts. She still wants to pursue acting and
Yeah.
singing. She's kind of set on UNCG because they have a growing,
They do.
department. But so we don't know
At
what.
10 years old,
Yeah.
you talking about me?
Hey.
She already like.
She's
10.
known since she came out.
Yes.
Like
Oh, did your,
she's-
did your
I
wife
can
go to
definitely say that.
UNCG?
No.
Where'd
Oh,
y'all go?
well, see, my job, I set up college tours all over the state.
Yes.
So
So
she's
when I
been-
go, yes, I
She
expose
goes.
my kids to
Yes.
all of that.
Yes.
And so she loves that
Yeah, she was
campus.
captured. Yeah, when they
Mhm.
talked about the arts and how they're growing that department and the way that they're investing in it, she was.
Yeah.
But at first it was School of the Arts, but now it's become UNCG.
Yes.
So it's a difference in conservatory and liberal arts.
Okay.
So conservatory is all you do is act. You take things involving acting. So which is yoga, which is speech, voice, acting, dance, movement for actors, fencing, fight choreography. That's what you're doing 24/7.
Okay.
Right. And you'll have a couple of classes that you will take, maybe depending on the university, a couple of classes like you have to have an English class, but you probably will have text analysis, but you're not taking math and stuff like that. So UNCG, if she goes there, it's not a conservatory. So she'll have to go through math, maybe take anthropology, maybe be taking
Yeah.
things that are not related,
Yeah.
but will also enrich who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went the conservatory route, but I'm also enriched because I come from people who just enrich.
That's
on,
right.
right
That's
on.
right. That's right.
So-
Mm-hmm.
That's that about me. But sure, as she gets closer, she might be like, well, conservatory, liberal arts school,
Yeah, it might have been something that happened in the week of the camp.
Yeah.
That kind of, but to meet you and to have that outlet
Yeah.
to continue to enrich and nurture.
Yeah.
That's beautiful
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. No, it is.
Because I was concerned for a minute because she did not want to continue.
And I saw the concern on your face when she said she didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I saw you pause like, what?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
But you know, you don't
So-
want to put too much pressure.
No, not at
Yeah.
all.
I don't.
But as a 10-year-old, she really, the biggest focus is the dance,
Yeah.
piano, singing, because all of that is going to enrich how she performs.
Yes.
You know, if you don't know how to walk across the stage,
Right.
what is acting?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if
that's
you
right.
if you can't use your body,
Right on.
and a
Yes.
lot of people don't know how to use their body. Quiet as kept.
Yeah. There it is.
Quiet as kept.
Well, there it is. There it is.
But she'll be fine. But definitely,
Thank
I
you.
would love to assist.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And see, this is what the International Black Theater Festival it's all about, and why it's so important and so valued to the community, to our culture, to the world,
Mhm.
because we speak to the world. We run the world, literally.
Literally,
Yes.
literally.
We run the world. We
Whenever
are the
I go
culture.
anywhere in the
That's
world,
right.
we are the culture.
We are the culture. We are.
Hi, Bianca. Is that an American accent I hear?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Thanks.
Are you from where Beyonce's from? No.
No.
She's from the southwest of America. I'm from the southeast
There it
of
is.
America.
There
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
North Carolina.
North
clear.
Carolina.
Kakalaki.
That's right. And so
Act
people
like
are
you
always
know.
wondering where the magic lies. And it is in this African American blood.
Yes.
It goes down. I just have to
Say that.
say, yeah.
Say that.
We are strong.
We are.
I mean, we are, from Beyonce to Michelle Obama to
Oh,
Oprah
yes,
to
yes.
Maya Angelou. I mean,
Yes, Bianca. That's
it
right.
goes down.
It goes down.
Lawrence Fishburne
Come
to
on.
Denzel.
Yeah. Come on, keep
It,
going.
Yeah,
Shit.
Morgan Freeman is all
Come
of
on.
that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we're all those things, all those
All
people.
of that.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up.
And the international, don't let
I
me
know
not
what you
say Sidney Poitier.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
come on.
Who's
now.
brilliant.
Yes.
But
Look who's coming to dinner.
look who's coming to dinner. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we have but the African American community is strong and is the culture.
It
of
is
the
strong.
world.
We are. If you would, could you take a little bit of time? The premise of our show is to help people become better. You've said so much to empower and
Right
to
on.
impact, though. So, but if you would, could you just take a little bit of time and say something even more in depth to motivate and to inspire someone that may want to go the same route or whatever they want to do in their life? Could you speak to that and then tell the folks how they can follow you and websites? You already said a little bit, but all of that good stuff, and then we'll close out.
So I'll leave you with quotes from famous Black people that
Yes,
I love.
sir. Come on.
50 Cent said, and this is for all the people who are sitting around trying to figure out how to do this, right?
Yeah.
You can pray or you can worry, but you can't do both. Okay? So stay prayerful and don't worry about it.
That's right. Don't worry about it.
Okay? Do the work.
Do the work.
Okay, I'm adding that, Bianca. Do the work. Maya Angelou said, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. This right here, we
Yes,
elbow
yes.
to elbow with our ancestors
Right,
out here.
right.
Yes,
You
we
know,
are.
we
We
come
are.
as one, but we stand as 10,000. So whenever you are out here going out for these auditions, when you decide to make your podcast,
Yeah.
and I know getting all this equipment and getting all this is not cheap,
No,
you know.
nah,
and so you're like,
not
is
at
it
all.
worth it at a certain point?
It is.
Having all of this, but
No doubt,
you didn't
though.
worry about it. You prayed on
I
it.
prayed on
You
it.
got yourself together,
I did.
right?
I did.
You don't come as one. You stand as 10,000,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
you got so many people that know that through you doing this,
Come on.
I'm blessed,
Yes.
right?
That's right.
Through you using your voice, I get to have my voice heard, and so that is something to definitely take away.
Yes.
I come as one, but I stand as 10,000.
Yes.
Don't squelch your voice because you squashing somebody else's blessing.
Right.
Come
Don't
on
worry
now.
about it. Pray
Don't
on
worry
it and
about
do
it.
it.
Pray about it. That's
Yeah.
right. I love it. I love it.
Gandhi said, you are the answer to your own problems, right? So if you want to fix something, you got to fix it yourself.
That's right.
And that's
Yeah,
a
it
paraphrase from Gandhi.
Yeah.
But Gandhi said, you are the answer to your own problem. So answer it.
Answer it.
You want to be in a play? Why don't you put a reading on?
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you want to have a podcast? Why don't you buy a camera and use your phone and start recording something?
Yes,
That's all you
indeed.
got to do.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all you got to do.
So you're the answer to your own issues.
That's right. That's right.
You know.
Thank you, Bianca. How can
Yes.
they?
You can reach me at BiancaLaverneJones.com. That's BIANCA Laverne with an E, LAVERNE Jones JONES.com. So BiancaLaverneJones.com. You go to my website and see everything I have going on. My email is there, directorladyb@gmail.com. That comes directly to me. But also, if you have a request for acting, anything you want to do with acting, if you got a project, you can send it to either directorladyb@gmail.com or assistant.BiancaLaverneJones@gmail.com. That is the way you reach me. I'm Googleable, so Google me.
I thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're very
It's
welcome.
beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you for gracing
Yeah.
us with your presence, Queen.
Absolutely.
We really do
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Bianca Laverne
Jones.
We thank you so much again
Thank you.
for giving us a little bit of your time.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your
amazing.
time.
So listen, I hope you guys have heard something that can help you become a better you. Remember, this is the Ross Cloud Podcast, and this is the International Black Festival Theater Festival 2024 edition of the Ross Cloud Podcast, and
Yes,
it's
sir.
mob-tastic. Yes, make it a great day, and we'll be right back with more from the International Black Theater Festival. Peace.
Go see Iron Shepherdess.
There it is.